Today's episode of the Cantina is brought to you by Grow Generation. Whether you're at the Death Star or the Senate, they have everything you need to grow right where you are. More from them later in the episode.
Welcome to a galaxy far, far away. Here at the Cantina Podcast, we provide top-shelf service, including rumors, leaks, news, and reviews. Come in, order a Loman Ale, and remember, no droids allowed. And hello, everyone. How's it going out there? Well, welcome to the Cantina. Man, whatever for stores, guys. A lot of stuff kind of hit the fan overnight in the last 24, 36 hours. We've had some stuff come out about a show that was announced back during Disney's big Investor Day. We had old news come to light about a position that Dave Filoni has, but he's not the only person in that position either. And of course, a bunch of YouTubers taking things out of context, spinning their wheels like crazy. And someone out there really likes our show, Cam, and Mike. He really likes my hosting abilities and my speech patterns, and I wanted to thank him so much for the ad revenue and the clicks and listening. So we really appreciate it. Welcome to the Cantina, guys. Mike, good to have you on. Like you get to every now and then. Cam, co-host as always. How are you doing, dude?
Good. Yeah.
Awesome. And Mike, man, I know you got your finger on some pulses even Cam and I don't have. What is going on at Lucasfilm, dude? Take us through the last 36 hours or so.
Well, I think it's just some announcements are getting dropped out. So I was talking to some buddies of mine who have some, other, inside sources and stuff, and it seemed like there was a mishap, or the way May 4th was supposed to be run. I think the plan was to have a couple more announcements to have, because it was pretty much a very lackluster May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the Bad Batch premiere, you didn't really have too many other extra announcements. No video game announcements, no movie announcements that we thought they were going to do. There were some limited edition toys that came out, but it was really quiet and it's really weird. You would think that the holiday of holidays was going to have more to it, and it didn't. And it just seems now like we're kind of going and seeing why, that there's maybe not everything is on pace or on track to be on production as what we thought was going to happen.
Got it. So for those of you, like we mentioned, there's a show that Mike is referring to, Rangers of the Public, was announced, and now it's being labeled as no longer an active production, which is
development.
Development. Active development. Mm-hmm. There's the word.
Production is a different
phase.
And a lot of people get confused by that.
Exactly.
So it's not in production.
Active development. It's no longer.
There's quite a lot of things not in production yet that we know about, but Acolyte's not in production. But it's in development.
Taika Waititi's film's not in production, but it's in development. Exactly.
Yeah, correct.
And so then
the wording is kind of strange. Shall we?
Yeah. So it can be looked at as strange, but no, it doesn't have to be strange. But we'll dig into that a little bit more. The big one is someone discovered an X title next to Dave Filoni's name.
Yes.
The creative
big promotion.
Yeah, it's it's not so much. First off, it's not new.
It's not new at all. No.
RK Outpost did a good video. I'm not always in agreement with him. I'm not always in agreement with you guys. Like Mike thinks episode 3 had a good lightsaber duel. And I don't know, Cam, I'm this Scottish. But you know, there's people I like, dislike, disagree, and it can very topic. The one thing I was so happy to see him do was look, not only does Filoni have this creative title from almost a year ago, it was given to him by Kathleen Kennedy, and he's not the only person with it. But dear God, did everyone start putting out videos about how it's finally over. KK's not in charge. And
I'd say I didn't know that. I just read the story. I didn't see all the. You know, I maybe I was coming across more reasonable fans that you were not like, yeah, you know, we knew this already, you know, and that's the kind of people I was reading. But I know I stay away from the kind of people you have a look at, Kyle. So I can totally imagine what they were doing with this bit of information. Yeah, it's quite sad, really. But there you go.
Yeah. Mike, have you seen some of the usual suspects today?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you have your definite YouTubers out there that are taking this little bit of information and stretching it out, you know, to the end of Kathleen Kennedy, and you know, the restructuring of Lucasfilm, and you know, the retconning of the sequel trilogy, and all this other stuff going on. I think there's the middle ground, because then there's the other side, which is like, it's not a big deal. And listen, when you have a title change, it's always, you know, it's always a big deal. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're going.
It's always a big deal, but I think the point with this one is he got that title change about a year ago, and
yes,
the only issue was they had never updated the Lucasfilm website to show that until this week.
That's correct. That's the silver lining there, is that this wasn't something that just happened. This is something that was already done, and it just, like you said, Cam, it was just a clerical, you know, change on a website, and so you take that and you can stretch it out, you know. But yeah, it's one of those things that I think that I think
it's more to say you can take that and you can just tell lies about it. Let's be honest, because that's what's happening.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's easier to stretch, you know, a lie than it is to stretch the truth. And that's ultimately what we're dealing with here and stuff. So, you know, was this a promotion a year ago? Yes. Was Dave Filoni given more, you know, creative responsibility? Yes. I mean, that's something we all knew. I mean, you look at he's basically
in that last year.
Yeah. He's one of the you know, the creative minds of The Mandalorian. He's the creative mind behind the Bad Batch that's airing right now. He's, you know, writing and going to direct a couple episodes and basically creative control of Ahsoka, you know. And so we've known this. This was kind of,
and him and Favreau were, although we'll get to that, they were running Rangers of the New Republic as well.
Yeah.
As well as Mando season 3 and Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, they had quite a bit going on, and you know, I guess we can, since look, that's the facts, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give. I'm dropping a few names today, and please, no one ever go and harass these people or say LRM is saying this, that or the other. I mean, tell them truth if you think, you know, we say something wrong, but don't ever go and attack other content creators, but challenge people and challenge us and our
I mean, you can say, hey, LRM said this, because I'll take the challenge against those bastards.
This is one of the,
but yeah, you don't go and attack people.
Yeah, and so I'll say this, like I said, RK Outpost did good job, and then I'll say somebody that kind of straddled the fence. ABJ, a Black Jedi, funny guy. His videos are entertaining. Sometimes he's on point and is honest about, you know, sources not being the greatest, and other times really buries the lead like he did today. At the very end of his video, he goes, so do we have any hard evidence or anything in writing that Kennedy is gone? No, she's still here for the moment. And I'm just like, guys, why? Like, I know why. I mean, I would love the money too, but God, like, you can get people to give you money and give them a real service without being so shady. It's upsetting because I look at it as part of the bigger problem in the Star Wars fandom. Like, both sides are driving these giant wedges between each other, and the split is just it's bad, guys. It's bad, and don't feed into it. Jesus. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about Rangers, because this has been a big question. Cam, you and I thought, they're gonna, hold off on this show. A lot of rewrites. Mando season 3 might come out beforehand because of what we assumed would be heavy play from Carano. But then Disney kind of tried to make it seem like maybe it wasn't going to be a huge Carano show. And then we hear about the Twi'lek from Rebels coming into Mando and possibly
Rangers.
Rangers.
Saying that came from us. Yeah, that's the last we heard before any of this news came out. That was the kind of current plan, was to bring Hera Syndulla, and
there it is.
So that was the last we had heard, and then you see this from Variety, who obviously are a trade and probably know what they're talking about, and they've been told, certainly by I assume our genuine sources, that it's not currently in active development. It is strange wording, as we said up top. I think what a lot of people are doing is leading with it's canned. I'd rather sit in the fence on that one at the moment, because I'm not so sure until I hear something that says yes, it's definitely canned. I'm not prepared to go down that route, because Variety, if they knew that was the case, could easily have just worded it that it's no longer happening. It would have been a bigger story, but they just kind of leave that little nugget in a story, which is really about the whole Dave Filoni thing in the first place, and kind of correcting people on what the situation was with Filoni. And then there's just this line in it about all the different things he's working on, and then Rangers of the New Republic, which is not currently in active development. It is strange wording, because you would think they'd still be developing it if they're scripting it, if they're working on it at the moment. So maybe it is just a sort of hiatus. I mean, one thing we know for certain is that it was behind all the other things anyway. Everything else was supposed to be coming first. So I wouldn't have expected to get much news on it at the moment anyway. But you would imagine there's still a team somewhere, certainly before we had heard this, that are actively trying to kind of put that together. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a kind of watch this space. But, I mean, let's say it did get canned, right? Surely they didn't have a show that was so reliant on the Cara Dune character that they can't write around that. I don't get it. And surely the
really, you don't think they could?
No, I'm saying that it seems impossible that they couldn't write around it, because she wasn't that big a character in the first place. Right. How big a role?
It's not like the Luke Skywalker show, and you have to write around that.
You can't have Luke anymore, or you can't have Mandalorian and that kind of. It's the way maybe that's the way it was positioned. But if we don't know that, I'm sure they can structure around about it. For me, it would cause them more problems to cancel it, because they must have an idea of where this is all going. Filoni and Favreau have to have an idea. This is all, and Lucasfilm have said this themselves. It's not just us anymore. This all came out in the Disney Investor Day, that these shows would all be building towards an event, event, which we don't know what that event is at this moment in time. Surely then Rangers must have been an integral part to where they were pushing that, you know, a piece of the puzzle that we needed to get. Therefore, to just can it completely means you've got whatever you were planning to do with that, you have to fit into other shows. That seems a far harder task to me as a writer than just writing out the Cara Dune character and replacing her with someone else. Would you guys agree with that?
Here's my take on it, and I actually think Rangers was going to be heavy with Dune, and I that's why I really wished they would have recast. They made a big point out of her getting that badge. That was that wasn't just a, oh look, she's law enforcement, so when she does this breakout, she's breaking the rule. No, that was a first plot point. I really foresaw Rangers being the political vehicle for us to get the politics of getting from the New Republic to the Resistance to the First Order, and in that case, it would have a lot of threads that would go over Mandalorian and Ahsoka, but it itself, I think it was going to be more of a more of the vehicle to connect more things to the sequel on the macro scale, while Mando's handling the micro scale. So that's why I could actually see them going, oh shit, now what do we do? Because the Syndulla character, they have full novels, like adult novels that are supposed to be canon, that take place during this era. She's like a general and shit right now.
Yep.
And I realized, maybe we can't use her the way we wanted to, and I think that's why the pause, they really are having to go square one with this. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Well, so the Harrison Syndulla situation, they can always, so like for example in Bad Batch, Caleb Dune or Kanan Jarrus, if you know him in Star Wars Rebels, they altered, Dave Filoni altered what the Order 66 storyline for him in Bad Batch than what was in the comic book. So because there was the comic book series, and so there was a slight difference there. Could they do a difference? Yes, because Syndulla is also in Star Wars Squadrons. In when the rebellion and Empire going on. So I mean, there's there's
Squadron book.
Exactly. So could we find something where, oh wait a minute, it doesn't match up directly with this book here or there? Yeah, possibly. Listen, this show was not supposed to be up and coming. Like the Ahsoka is we have Book of Boba Fett, then we're gonna have a Mando new season. Then we're going to have, more than likely, the Ahsoka show right after, going in the Mandoverse. Then probably one more season of Mandalorian after Ahsoka. Then Rangers of the New Republic. Then the ultimate event or whatever. So when I see it's not an active development, okay. I mean, right. It's production probably, wasn't scheduled to start 2022. So you got to think about it. Filoni, is finishing up, Book of Boba Fett, Favreau's finishing up Book of Boba Fett. Filoni's, writing all this stuff for Ahsoka. They're also tackling Mando at the same time, somewhere in between there. So do I expect, Rangers of the New Republic having it all squared away? No, because like you guys have said, Gina Carano was let go, and that was going to be her show. That was going to be the main character.
I was going to say that we were the first to report on that in the first place, and that's what we heard before we had a name. Yeah. We heard that it was going to be a Gina Carano led show, and nothing we've ever heard since. Everything seems to back that up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt, that was her show. She gets let go. Then, I heard, from my guys that, the talk is putting Harrison Syndulla as the main character, which maybe it's not. Now maybe with the way that the story's going and stuff, it backs away. And so I'll take the heat on that if it doesn't, end up being correct and stuff. But
the only thing about that is there's going to be a lot of fans disappointed, because when we broke that story, there was a lot of fans like,
positive feedback.
This is a positive move, because Hera is a far better character than Cara Dune, and we want that. So I would like
tweaking it.
I hope they find a way to do it. I do hope they find a way to do it.
You got to admit too, like out of all the Star Wars news that came out in that Investors Days meeting, Rangers of the New Republic was the dud. It was like what was it, Star Wars Droids and Rangers of the New Republic. Those were the two announcements that people were like, I don't care about it. Some of it because it was tied to Gina Carano, but yeah.
And then they never gave us any details on it, so people didn't know what is it,
exactly.
They never told you anything. The only information we ever had was what we'd provided beforehand, that it was going to be a Gina Carano vehicle.
So maybe
everything else since has been just dead, quiet.
Yeah, so maybe it's just like, okay, from the Investor Day meeting and then in kind of the reception from just the announcement alone wasn't a big hit. Maybe we tweak it something, make it a little bit better or something like that. Maybe that's where executives start to put their fingers in and stuff like, let's change the name or let's change the characters. Let's not go this route. Maybe save it for a side story on Mando season 4, season 5 type deal. So it could be any of those things, but
until we hear something more solid, we just don't know.
To say it's not an active development, I'm not concerned.
Yeah, and we can look at and I know everyone's nerves are really raw when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, I get it, guys. We're there with you. Like the things that upset us deeply. And everyone's entitled to have that. This Rangers thing is it's guys think even Marvel has things that get canceled, moved, changed, and I mean look at projects like not even just the Inhumans, whether you guys like it or not. The Blade that was announced in 2019 is very not likely to be the Blade we end up with. It looks like a lot of things are kind of shifting for that movie, and that's could be good, could be bad, but it's part of business in Hollywood. Things change, actors change, writers change, time changes. Society itself and what it's willing to accept or what it wants or the saturation of a specific genre. But with Star Wars, like I said, everyone is so polarized. I used to make this joke about the two worst things in America's the Congress and NCAA football. Like there's no more tension on earth and like an Ohio State and whatever their big rivalry, Michigan, there you go, game. And there's no more bitter rivalry than the D's and the R's in Capitol Hill. But holy fuck, man, Star Wars is just managing to take the cake. It sucks.
I know. Well, I live in Scotland, so we have far worse rivalries than anything you're talking about. Ours go back hundreds of years, and there's still people that I'm not even getting into it because the Star Wars show is not the right place to discuss the politics of Scotland. I will mention some really, really cool ancient UK, well, not ancient, but older UK history. Some might not know, but it actually is a Scottish lineage sitting on the throne. It's funny the way Scotland and the British throne and times of separation, and at the very, very, very end of it, it ends up being someone with heavy Scot ties
that leads to the family that sits on the throne now.
Yeah, but there was different religions as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's the point. You have it's the whole Protestant versus Catholic thing that's been going right back since the olden days in the 1600s. You know, and that's when it all kicked off, and it's still going. So absolutely crazy.
And I mean this with as much fun and good heart and intentions as can be, but the Catholics are the Sith. They got the old cranky guy, right? They got the old cranky guy in charge.
Yeah, the emperor. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I suppose because like the Church of Scotland and the Church of England, the Queen's the head, and I think she's older than the Pope. She is. I think so. You know, she's proper Empress Palpatine at the moment. You know, she's trying to hit 100 soon.
Man, I tell you what, you know, let's reset with a great word from our sponsors over at growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow. Take it away, guys.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for hydroponic grow supplies, product systems, and more. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I can say this. A long time ago, months and months ago, Cam and I started going, you know what? We don't think Kennedy's going to go. We don't know if she's going to renew her contract. Will there be a restructuring? Will there be... I want to find the episode we said it, and I just want to make like a highlight reel. And you got to remember, Cam and I are some of the ones that are like, look, business-wise, I would have let her go a while ago, because of the turnover on directors, the sudden loss on toys, the bumbling of Solo. It would have been like, look, you did good. Maybe Amy Pascaler, you know, put her back to EP and stuff like that. But that didn't happen. And at the end of the day, she's still, for all intents and purposes, going the exact way Cam and I seem to predict, which is Lucasfilm will restructure. There's going to be some compartmentalization. Some executives are great with creativity, some aren't. And the one thing we do know with the changing of the box, and Cam and I and Mike and I talked about this, is the shift away from content creators being executives to the content distributors and the PR and the advertisers becoming your executives. And guess what Kathleen is actually really good at, no matter what your opinion of her is, that side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just accept what we get, guys. And does it suck when you don't like someone and they're the face of a company? Sure. I as an NFL fan, Gary Bettman, I can't stand every time he gives the cup away at the end of a season, he gets booed. It's hilarious, but he's still NHL commissioner. Why? Because the NHL has done well under him, whether you like it or not. So I don't know. Where do you guys want to go from here? Anything else you guys have heard, want to talk about? Man, it's
Well, going on to what you're talking about there, I think the one area that I think Lucasfilm really is horrible at, and I don't know if it's Lucasfilm's charge or maybe Disney, is marketing. I mean, let's put face the facts here. Their marketing team for the sequel trilogy was horrible. Mm-hmm. The marketing for the past two May 4ths have been really bad. I mean, you think about, like, what are we going on? So we're going to go pretty much a full entire year without any type of Star Wars live action content. We got Bad Batch right now. Mm-hmm. And you're right now at Star Wars. Well, at the end of 2020, Star Wars was hot. And now it seems like it's starting to cool off because you're not going to get all those fans that were into Mando watching Bad Batch. You got to, you know,
I
not
haven't
everybody's
even
into
watched
people
one
that-
episode yet.
yeah, not everybody's into the
Shame
animated
on
stuff.
you.
Yeah, you know,
I get it.
I get it, right, and stuff. So
Yeah.
like, there's got to be something better than, you know,
I mean,
than what they're doing right now.
they could have. There was things that they could have done, and I get the feeling that whenever we hear that something might be happening and then it doesn't, that there's they're not confident. It's like they get cold feet, and they just don't, you know, feel confident to get what they've got out there at the moment. And Marvel's the total opposite of that. As soon as Marvel's kind of, I mean, apart from Eternals, maybe because the big delays, and they seem to be bigging that up as something special. But everything else, we kind of tend to see trailers as soon as humanly possible for us to do so. I just can't believe that they couldn't give us something for Book of Boba Fett or Andor.
Well, to your point,
even some BTS stuff for Obi-Wan.
Yeah. To your point, look what they did for Marvel. What was it, last week? What was it where they showed the see you at the
Welcome to
movies?
the movies.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Come
back in the movies. There wasn't anything major. We got a little bit of what the internals.
Shit.
You know, our first clip. That was it. The rest of it was just not like, you know, the changing of or the naming of Black Panther, the sequel. You know, and the Fantastic Foreseeable, which we've already seen. You know, and stuff.
Yeah.
But like that to me is it keeps it in your mind. It keeps it relevant. Yeah. My biggest fear is out of sight, out of mind. Boom, we're done. You know, and to me that's where Lucasfilm needs to copy what Marvel's doing. I mean, they're in the same house. Go over there and be like, man, what are you guys planning on next? Okay, all right, we got to do that. The Spider-Man, you know, movie title reveal. That was an entire process there. Like, you know, that was a great marketing campaign there. They got everybody, you know, like wondering, what could it be? What could, you know, all these fake, you know, names coming out. And then all of a sudden, boom, they do a little 30-second, you know, clip of how they joke around with it and how it gets revealed, you know.
And the thing is, there's been no trade Star Wars news as well.
No.
Like we always get the things that the trades will come up with where, you know, and it's a kind of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of situation where, look, we've got a bit of information. Okay, sit in that until this week here, and then you can run it, you know, but we ain't saying anything about it. But we know that that's legit. All these kind of things going on. And there's been nothing about Star Wars at all. There's been more about Indiana Jones from the trades recently. Yeah. And, you know, than even we've had for... Even casting wise, I mean, who have we heard that's been cast apart from the big players in Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, nothing.
Hardly anyone, you know.
I wonder because seeing the tweets from some of the writers, I know that there are those in Lucasfilm, and I'm not talking leadership. And usually, if you hear of conflict or the word war or civil war mentioned here on the Cantina, we're talking like the grunt workers, not the execs, because they will have ideological differences. You can see it on Twitter. They put it on Twitter. We've had a high writer complain about the releasing and the timing of Luke Skywalker and the release of a High Republic piece. Wonder if Disney or I wonder if it's Lucasfilm or, like Mike said, Disney. Are they looking at it? You know, they've had to stop doing High Republic stuff on YouTube, turn off comments, hide things in Instagram to get away from trolls and some legitimate criticism. I'm wondering if the bad PR is simply
making
like
them scared.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like are they afraid that we're not going to push this because it's not doing great?
They've got nothing when it comes to the likes.
I don't know.
Warner Brothers. I mean, look at the shit Warner Brothers is getting just now. Like, every time they do anything, they just get attacked by Zack Snyder fans saying restore the Snyderverse.
That's true too.
Yeah,
Ryan Johnson.
you know, it just gets attacked. And, so compared to that, Star Wars isn't even getting it that bad.
No, I agree
in
with
all
you.
honesty. So, not in a mainstream way anyway, Kev. There's the same group of people who are going to shit on any bit of news that they hear anyway.
Oh,
because
yeah.
They've just got it now. They just want to see Star Wars crash and burn now. That's the only thing. It's a nihilistic view. It's like a Dark Lord in a fantasy. That's what these guys are like. They don't know what they want. They're just, they want to watch the world burn, because I just don't know what there's no world where they're going to come out and go, yes, we've, Doomcock and all of that were right. We're going to erase the sequel trilogy and start again. It ain't going to happen,
No.
So we need to they just need to stop with all that bullshit, to be perfectly honest with you, and either decide I don't like Star Wars anymore, so I'm not going to watch it anymore. But they can't do that because they're making so much money off their YouTube channels talking about Star Wars, so they have to stay angry. If they
make the money,
suddenly,
be angry, just be honest about your anger and what you're angry about.
Yeah, but what happens is they push it so far, and then they think, oh well, I need to, I don't know.
But everything's been so secretive. Here's the thing: is that we know there's projects in development. It's not like they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs, like, what could we do next? What could we? We know that there's games in developments. There's TV shows in development. There's movies in development. There's toys in production. The damn lightsaber, got so much publicity off of the realistic lightsaber that's going to be on the Starship Cruiser in Disney World.
But that was like so little of that as well. It was like people had seen it, but the public hadn't seen it for so long, and then they just gave us that one little clip. And it's like, why are you holding this stuff back?
Why?
Right. You saw how much excitement there was over that little 15-second clip of the realistic lightsaber and people breaking it down, analyzing it. And my fear is that they're going to save all these announcements for Star Wars Celebration, which they moved up in May to do all these things, which is fine, great. You're going to sell a bunch of tickets and you're going to, sell a bunch of merchandise there. But at the same time, too, you're not building an audience. You're when you do these celebrations and you do these, you're catering to the diehard fans, which I get it. But at the same time too, like, you want to build this, you want this franchise to keep going and going. So you need to, that's what I think Marvel did really well with, was it wasn't that every movie was great. Their marketing was great for it. They knew that their movies, there are some that were subpar, that we're just getting through, to the end game or whatever. But the way that they marketed, the way that they, put toys out there for it, people became fans of, Thor, before Ragnarok, and people became, fans of Ant-Man, even though there was issues with the filming of it. And it's because of marketing and and maybe you're right, Cam, maybe, the marketing team is just too scared right now to really put something out there until they're really confident. To me, I think there's a possibility of them trying to be too secretive. Like, we don't want to release anything out, because we're
just telling us what they've got planned isn't right. Just giving us a title for something coming in the future. To me, isn't going to spoil anything.
To me, the biggest miss for Mando season 2 was not doing a trailer or not necessarily a full trailer, but adding into the trailer a snippet of Ahsoka and Rosario. And we all knew it. That was the worst kept secret out there.
Even the white lightsaber hilts and lighting up would have been good enough.
Yes. We all knew.
Just admit it. Once the cat's out the bag, rather than trying to surprise everything. They kept the big surprise anyway, but they were so secretive about all the stuff that leaked, and I know they were worried about the Luke thing leaking as well. And, they said that it was literally the only thing that didn't leak, but that's because they went out their way to keep it a secret, and that's absolutely fine. But you cannot keep just casting a secret. It's going to get out there. So you just have to accept it. All right, they've all found out about this. Let's run with it.
I understand the, when we broke the news about Hayden Christensen being casted in Kenobi, coming back as Anakin.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, I had that news way in advance. Like it was, the ink had not dried yet on the damn contract. That's how fast I knew about that news. And so they wanted to save that. I know for a fact they wanted to save that for Celebration, but because of Celebration, they had it, getting canceled. It didn't happen. So they saved it for Investor Day. But if you tell me that the trailer for Kenobi, whenever they do drop it, does not show a single snippet of Vader or anything like that, that is the biggest miss you can have. Like, I
don't think they will do it because they have made it official that he's in it, so they can. Man, I think they understand that he is Darth Vader still as the base market.
Right. The popularity behind Hayden Christensen now, I mean, it's 10 times bigger than it was in the prequel trilogy days. Let me
ask you this, Mike, and you can say no comment on this if you want to.
Sure.
Right? Will we be seeing? Because I know you'll know the answer to this, but whether you want to tell us the answer to this is up to you.
Okay.
Will we be seeing sort of any flashbacks where Hayden is not in the Darth Vader suit in this series?
Yeah, that one I can definitely tell you. It's kind of already gotten leaked out as well. The guys at
I haven't heard that. Oh, did they say that? Damn, they never picked that.
Yeah, because so you're gonna see the flashbacks of the Clone Wars era. You're gonna see Hayden, in the Clone Wars armor, Kenobi in Clone Wars armor. And not a whole lot. I mean, this is not going to be just like let's go back to the Clone Wars days, but you're going to see snippets, and it's going to be kind of the Kenobi going through PTSD, of everything that's happened so far and stuff. And so when Hayden Christensen is the Darth Vader, he is in the Darth Vader suit, but that's not the only time we're going to see him as Darth Vader /
That's what we always figured, always speculated on that, but it's nice to kind of see that speculation was founded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That to me is, I think, pretty much well known. I know definitely Noah and oh my God, Corey? I'm so sorry. Corey, yeah, I'm so sorry, Corey. But I know and Corey have talked about that, and a couple other guys that we've trusted and we've run with their stories before. They basically have said that you're going to see Hayden in the Clone Wars armor.
Still think we should have saw, because we know that they would have had cameras filming it when the two of them meet each other backstage for the first time. Why didn't they just release that and May the 4th? I don't get it.
Could you imagine just that? Just
tells you nothing. There's no spoilers. There's nothing. It's just confirming something we already know. Fans would have went gaga.
You have a day dedicated to this.
Exactly.
This franchise. Like Marvel doesn't have a day.
Marvel
DC
doesn't have a day.
And you're not going to take advantage of that. Yes. All we got was Star Wars biomes, and the one where you go through the Millennium Falcon.
That's pish. By the way, that is just not. I mean, that would, to me, in my head, was a better idea than what it was. If it was something that was going to be interactive and
on VR,
it's not. Yeah, something that you could actually maneuver around about yourself, have a look at it, use your controller, something like that. I don't know, but that would have been fun. But all it was just some computer generated camera movements through ships and empty corridors. It was boring.
On this idea of marketing, let's look at the two juggernauts' last big outings. Let's look at the final trailers for Rise of Skywalker and Endgame as how they tried to push their big finales. Let's see if I can add that to the stream.
It's an instinct.
You see,
lagging a little
bit. What's that?
Feeling.
It's lagging a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I mean, I think we got the idea of it.
Yeah, I look at it, and here it's just establishing shots of characters with no story. They try to get you to think that you're going to visit some familiar places, but again, nothing's driving us forward here. The idea of showdown is in it, but again, who here watched this and did either of you guys get super stoked about this at all?
I mean,
watching
no,
the trailer?
but then by this point, by the time the final trailer's out, I think I already knew what was going to happen in the film. So,
Right.
you know, it's tricky for me to be able to say because I knew it was going to happen in this film a long time before it came out, and I knew it was not going to be good. So, you know, all it did was tick boxes for me. So
this, other than the music, which I do love this piece, did it do much for you?
No, to me, it didn't really do much. It didn't get me I always get excited in the teaser trailer, the very first one. That's the one that always gets me pumped up. Like with Endgame and Infinity War, Force Awakens, going all the way back to the very first Phantom Menace. That was kind of that was I think the first teaser trailer ever hit that broke the internet type deal.
I mean, people were when they had that in theaters, people were going to see movies that was in just to watch the trailer and then leave before the movie started.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember it come on TV on the news when I was finished one day, and I was standing in the reception of the office, and I knew it was coming on the news, and it was the first time we had ever seen it, and I should have been leaving work, but I stood in that reception and just watched it, even with no volume. Because I knew that was the first time I was going to get to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's actually look at this. So this is 1999.
It's the best trailer ever.
Phantom Menace. I'll turn up the music a little bit. There we go. Yeah. You're already getting us set up. Some familiar locations, something new. A wonderful sound.
Yeah. That scene with the pod racing right there, that got me going, man. That was like, holy smokes.
It's dated in the way that the trailer's shot.
Correct.
But I still think
you refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
You can see things before
that you start knowing what you're going to get into.
Force is unusually strong with it.
There's still secrets.
This on
modem.
Took like 4 hours to download.
Yes. 1,000 times before you found out it was. I think even though this is dated as that real speed opening, I think this is a better trailer than Rise.
Why can't you?
Oh, without a doubt. I think it's the trailer that broke the internet. I still rank it as one of the best trailers of all time. Movies, hands down.
It's just pity the movie wasn't what the trailer made it look
set
like.
It up it set up episode 1 to be so great, and then just woo. Although over time,
we all just that actually still I'm like, that could have been awesome. It wasn't, but it could have been.
I mean, in all honesty, that was the best marketing ever. Like it was a mediocre movie, but the trailer, everything leading up to that movie was hands down some of the best marketing ever done.
They did loads of BTS stuff beforehand. Loads of stuff about how they were making it and everything that just teased you.
My gosh,
what was going on in the process. And I can understand why Disney wouldn't quite go as far as kind of Lucas did with that sort of stuff, but anymore because they want to keep sort of some element of surprise. And I think you can go too far as well. Sony sometimes goes far too far with their trailers. They tell you the whole movie before you've seen it. They overmarket sometimes because they're so desperate to make the money off it. They don't want it to fail. They just spend so much on marketing. So there is a middle ground somewhere in between. But I think at the moment, for the current era we're in, Marvel's the one that has that sweet spot.
This gave me chills, guys, from both of them. The first one and this second
Endgame,
the music, the color, the
But the thing with Endgame, like,
it's a little bit different because it's a second part of kind of what we had just got in Infinity War.
and it was
as
10
well,
years in the making.
Star Wars, they even build it years in the making, you know?
Yeah.
And
they tried to, but by that point, they lost too much of the fan base already.
Yeah.
That's like doing Endgame, but half the fan base despised Infinity War and vowed never to watch Marvel again. Do you know what I mean? So it's just if that happens, then Endgame doesn't break the records. And that's exactly what we saw with Rise of Skywalker. People just weren't happy after The Last Jedi, and therefore Rise of Skywalker made less money than The Last Jedi, which has never happened with a third. Literally any trilogy, your proper trilogy, and the third one will always
Spider-Man 3,
one.
as crappy as a movie that was, made millions, if not $1 billion.
If you look at the Lord of the Rings, which is just one story split in three, the last one was still the one that made far more money than any of the other two. It's just the way it works usually.
I like the Lord of the Rings, but fuck you to the Academy, because that was the last year you guys gave popular fucking films their
the best
due.
It is, in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King is not the best of the three films. Most of the fans will agree the first movie, Fellowship of the Ring, is the superior film of the three, and that's the one that should have won best film at the Oscars.
I think it was a makeup from not doing that.
That's my issues with the Oscars now. It all feels like backslapping and this person's due a turn, and there's too much of that goes on these days, and the fans have just lost all kind of the people like us, we just don't care. I don't even look to see who wins the Oscars now. I just get no interest in it at all. Even if like a Marvel movie won something, I'd be like, I don't care.
Right.
Let's go ahead and recap, guys. Filoni had that job a while ago. It's been updated clearly. Other people have that title, and Kathleen Kennedy gave him that title. Kennedy is still at Lucasfilm and still appears to have no out intentions or signs. Rangers of the New Republic is not canceled. It's just no longer in active development. Whatever that means. And we're not saying that it's not going to eventually get canceled. A lot of things that stop active development do get canceled, but not all of them. Regardless, the last thing is guys, check your source articles and check your YouTube. Check us when we're wrong. Let us know so that way we get better. But the internet is going well, so let's run the end. Check out lrmonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Check out the Genreverse Podcast Network, brought to you by LRM Online. It's the same YouTube channel, same podcast URLs you guys have been using. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, share us with some friends and family, and then of course follow us at our social media. I'm at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. Cam, tell us about.
Yeah, for those watching on YouTube, obviously it's on screen, but it's at LRM_Cam. You can catch me there. Mike?
And Mike?
Yeah. You can catch me at LRM_exclusive. Basically, I manage that Twitter account there. So anything you need to message me by, you can just throw it underneath there.
There you guys go. Anything big come next week, Mike, that we got for this thing? Just...
nothing major that I know of, major, but who knows? That might change in the next 24 hours.
Yeah. And definitely check out the new Daily Cup of Genre, the show that LR Mornings evolved into, because I gave Rare Can reference. You get 10. And check it out. Definitely always gives a interview update every day on news for that day and the next few days. So, thank you guys so much for listening. Mike, thanks for being on. Cam,
Awesome.
For
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Everyone, we'll see you next week. May the force be with you.